Hello and good morning to the fifth day of Advent, Saturday the 5th of December. I want to sort of shallow dive into the book of Deuteronomy this morning to look at a couple of verses and look at the kind of topic of prophet and prophecy. So I'm going to Deuteronomy chapter 18, 15 to 19. Here we go. The Lord your God will raise up for you a prophet like me from among you, from your brethren. Him you shall heed. Just as you desired the Lord your God at Horeb on the day of the assembly, when you said, "Let me not hear again the voice of the Lord my God, or see this great fire any more, lest I die." And the Lord said to me, "They have rightly said all they have spoken. I will raise up for them a prophet like you from among their brethren. I will put my words in his mouth, and he shall speak to them all that I have commanded him. And whoever will not give heed to my words which he shall speak in my name, I myself will require it of him." Now, there have been many prophets that have sort of come and gone throughout the ages. Sort of famous ones I can think of would be Balaam or the oracle at Delphi, Muhammad, Nostradamus, even Joseph Smith, the founder of Mormonism, claimed to be a prophet of God. People have looked to these people as prophets, and over the ages and over time they have proven to be false prophets. We know in scriptures the names of other prophets that really did speak the words of God and God's truth, like Elijah, Elisha, Isaiah, Jeremiah, Hosea, just to kind of name a few. In our sort of modern and rational and scientific age that we live in, many dismiss prophecy kind of outright as sort of naive or pagan or sort of even backwards. And yet there is something, I believe, that is intrinsic to our human nature that sort of yearns for prophecy, something that yearns to hear a voice from beyond ourselves, a voice of promise, to look to catch a glimpse, to pull the curtain back on the future. A voice that helps us understand life and speaks with authority. The heathen nations at the time of Moses were trying to satisfy this intrinsic human need in a very negative way. They were listening to those who practiced sorcery and divination. Some today still practice and seek out prophecy through this method, through mediums or through horoscopes. Some even try to fulfill this longing with technology. Some even turn to very charismatic leaders who claim to speak from the future or into the future. In this season of Advent, we are reminded in this passage that God is a God of promises. And in these verses, God promises a prophet he promises about the prophet. Again, in Deuteronomy 18:15 says, "The Lord your God will raise up for you a prophet like me from among you, from the brethren, him you shall heed." Unlike you, and definitely unlike me, you might sort of keep all of your promises. God remembers all of his promises, every single promise he has ever made, and because he is faithful and he is true. When we profess our faith, we promise to serve the Lord, but how quickly do we chase after other things or chase after other gods? For example, like when we get married, we promise to submit to one another out of reverence for Christ, but often we insist on having our own way. There are at least 5,000 promises in the Bible that God gives to us, and he keeps every single one of them every single day. God keeps his promises. In this season of Advent, I want you to remember this. We are being told that the fulfillment of all his promises are found in a person. That person is Jesus Christ. God keeps his promise about a prophet like Moses, as we see here. Jesus is the prophet who satisfies our deep, intrinsic human yearnings for prophecy. He and only he is the voice outside ourselves. He is the one who truly touches us with the divine. He is the voice that gives us infallible direction to our lives, that pulls back the curtain into truth and into life. He is the only voice that helps us to keep fully understanding life as we go forward. He is the only voice that can speak truly and authoritatively into our lives in all times and in all places. We don't have to look to other things to satisfy this intrinsic human need for prophecy. We find it in a person. We do not have to go the ways of the world. We do not need to look at horoscopes. We don't need to look at any of those things. Jesus is the prophet God promised through Moses. So listen to him this Advent. Listen to Jesus the prophet, because he is our mediator. He is our brother. He is our father. He is our truth. And I think we can hold on to that during this Advent season. God bless you guys.